Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinarvaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asakta savishishyate,
asakta savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanaha,
karmajayo hyakarmanaha,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
yagnarthat karmanonyatra,
Yagnartat karmanonyatra,
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
tadartham karma kaunteya,
tadartham karma kaunteya,
mukta sangha samachara,
mukta sangha samachara,
saha yagna प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
येषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
येषवोऽस्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing the deeper significance of Kamadhenu, the divine cow. Now, the general tendency of the mind is to not to go into the depth of anything. The mind wants an easy way out. So when some truth is given, nobody wants to put in that effort to penetrate, to try and find out what it really means and how is it relevant to my life. Now, there was a person who asked me, why is it that a cow alone is considered to be divine? What about the other creatures? It is a wrong belief that the Sanatana Dharma, the ancient wisdom, says that cow alone is divine, all other creatures are not divine. It doesn't say like that. Actually, the message given in the ancient wisdom is that every aspect of this world is divine only. All creatures are equally divine. You should first understand this because divinity is infinite. It is omnipresent, present everywhere, present in everyone, present in every creature, present in everything also. So to think that something is specially divine, something is not divine, itself is a very limited concept. Our ancient sages, they saw divinity everywhere. But at the same time, they were also very practical. See, it is no doubt true that God is present everywhere, that infinite power is there in everyone. But do you have the capacity to see or experience that infinite power with everyone? No, because you have your sets of likes and dislikes. So in the good old days, it was more of an agricultural society. So the basic thing they said was that, see, a cow is symbolic of the principle of yagna, because the cow gives milk. It has no selfishness, and the cow gives a lot of emotions. They consider it as the mother, the motherly emotion. So considering all this, they said see, you're rearing a cow, you're having a cow at home, now you should first worship that. And even there, they are not worshipping merely the cow, they are worshipping the yagna principle which is manifest in the cow naturally. But if you really go deep into it, you will find that in every aspect of nature, the principle of yagna is prevalent. In some it may manifest clearly. In certain areas of nature, it may manifest in a subtle way. That is the difference. So as you evolve spiritually, you will slowly come out of this limited concept that certain things alone are spiritual, certain things are worldly. Rather, your perception will completely change because you see divinity in everything. But when it comes to practicality, you will not choose anything in life because divinity is present everywhere. You will see the relative benefit or the harm that can create. Because a tamasic mind will pick up something like this. If divinity is present everywhere, so why not I take drugs? Supposing a person asks, divinity is there in drugs also, no? Because infinite is present everywhere. Now, this is a tamasic mind interpreting. When it comes to choosing, the sages have been very clear. You should choose according to what will be helpful to you, or you should discard those things which will be harmful to you. But your inner perception need not be restrictive. So, the Kamadhenu, the divine cow, is a beautiful symbolism of the very principle of yagna. It is very interesting. If you see, the cow just eats grass, hay, and then it converts it into milk. Now, that is also symbolic, because what these great rishis have done is that they have gone through the various so-called ordinary experiences of life, which is represented by the grass, and then they convert it into milk, which is the wisdom. Actually, in the Gita Dhyanam, the Dhyana slokas, it is mentioned, that the Upanishads is the cow, and the Bhagavad Gita is the milk, the essence of the Upanishads. Arjuna is the calf, and Krishna is the expert milkman who can draw the milk from the cow. It's been poetically given out there. So why are they referring to the cow? Because it is a very symbol of yagna. So just as the cow eats normal grass and converts it into milk, if you approach your life in the correct way, in a spiritual way, based on these normal experiences which you're going through, if you convert that into sadhana, you can derive the wisdom of life. So they worshipped the sacrificial quality in a cow or a bull. That doesn't mean that only a cow or a bull, these animals are divine. All other animals are not divine. There is nothing like that. You should never understand these things in a limited way. Then you will get caught up in some aspect of this wisdom, and after that you will not be able to proceed further at all. See, every master gave certain examples based on that current trend, whatever trend was there at that time. See, supposing, let us say, a spiritual master talks to a person in US. Now, that family, let us say, they are having a pet dog. Now, what would the spiritual master say? See divinity in that dog. You have to understand that context and derive the principle and get to the principle. See, this is the weakness which the mind has. It just gets attached to the example and never goes to the principle. Nobody wants to put that effort. So there is a belief that if you worship the photo of Kamadhenu every day, now all your desires will start getting fulfilled. Now that is coming from these verses, wherein some masters said you should worship Kamadhenu. Now what do they mean by worshipping Kamadhenu? It is not per se that photograph. It is following the principle of yagna which Kamadhenu symbolizes. If you do that in your life, then it will become a wish-fulfilling cow of your desires. Our scriptures are so deep. Our sages were very, very high level scientists. Scientists in the sense they discovered the secrets of life through their inner research, through meditation, through deep sadhana. And then when they gave out, they gave out this wisdom in various ways, sometimes as direct principles, sometimes with the help of some examples, sometimes in an indirect way, using metaphors. So many different ways of giving this wisdom. And they were careful not to give away everything, because then there will be nothing for you to discover. Even in these sessions, no doubt we are using the yogic approach and going quite deep. But has everything been told? No way. A very small portion of this wisdom of life is being given here. Now, as you take these principles in, as you absorb them and as you keep practicing them, the picture will become complete. Whatever you understand right now will be the ultimate to you. But after 2 years, the same principle will speak something else to you, because your understanding would have deepened. If you have done the sadhana, if you have tried to practice it in your life, if you sincerely put in that effort, you will find that the depth of your understanding, the depth of your experience will keep on increasing. So, here we find Lord Krishna taking the principle of yagna and explaining it using a symbol, that is Kamadhenu. Now don't get involved with the cow per se. Get to the principle of what he is trying to give. So when it comes to seeing God or seeing divinity, what is suggested is that we should come to a level where we see divinity everywhere. Whatever is there in front of you is a divine manifestation, is a manifestation of divinity. Actually, if you keep on progressing in your sadhana, a time would come where you will see yourself as a manifestation of divinity, because the whole creation has come from the Creator and the Creator is divine, then the creation is also divine. And you are a part of that creation. So you become a manifestation of divinity. And you further do sadhana, you keep on progressing, your consciousness will expand and you will identify with the Creator. Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Supreme Creator. Here, Brahmasmi doesn't mean Lord Brahma. That is a limited manifestation, which is the power of creation alone. But Aham Brahmasmi refers to the Supreme Brahman, the formless reality. So, this is how you progress in stages. You will have to be very open-minded to keep progressing. See, if something inspires you, practice it. But now don't get stuck there. When the time has to, when the time comes where you have to move on, now you're still sticking to the same old principles because that inspired you at that point of time, then that your growth will become stunted. So when you get exposed to these kinds of indirect methods, like a lot of dramatization here, the Creator creating the world, creating people, and then talking to them, giving them a message. And then within that there is another metaphor, the Kamadhenu is being referred to. So a lot of story is built here. Now you should enjoy this, no doubt. The construction part, the way it has been structured, that is very enjoyable. But don't get stuck there. So Kamadhenu represents the divine cow, is the divine cow, and it represents the principle of yagna. So worshipping Kamadhenu means perform yagna in your life. Immediately people will again think it's merely the ritual. No. Every activity can be converted into yagna. See, the fact that Krishna is giving this to Arjuna in a battlefield sets the context. So he is obviously not asking Arjuna to start a Havan fire worship there. So there is a deep principle which he is trying to communicate. So by this may you propagate, let this be the wish-fulfilling cow of your desires. Now, last week we were seeing the 3 levels of depth when it comes to Ishta Kama Dukh. Lord Krishna is being very careful here because the word Kama can be totally misunderstood. On one hand, they say, don't fall a prey to Kama. On the other hand, the same sages talk of Kamadhenu. So, a person who sincerely reads all this is bound to get confused. If you don't get confused, it means you have not understood anything. You neither understood that or this. So they deliberately use contradiction, the language of contradiction, to make a person think, to help a student come out of whatever thinking pattern which he or she is stuck with. So unless a student's mind is shaken, it will not think of something something else. It will not think of something higher. A different approach will not be adopted by the mind. That's why our masters use the language of contradiction. And when you take training from a master, you will find that he will contradict himself. Apparently, it will look as if there is a contradiction. One day he may ask you to do something. After a few months he may say, what is there in that? Do this. It may look very, very contradictory, but if you go deeper into it, you will find that there is no contradiction actually. So Krishna is being very careful by using this phrase, ishta kama dukh. So generally the word kama is used to mean uncontrolled desires only. And that is why they say, you should not have kama, you should not have desires. When you remove all your desires, you become divine. These are all statements which you would have heard from here and there. Now, there the English word desire is being used, but what the rishis meant was kama. An uncontrolled desire actually makes you very unhappy. The starting point itself is unhappiness only. You're unhappy, that is why you generate a kama. And then by achieving it, are you really going to be happy? No, because every kama which is fulfilled will give rise to 100 more kamas. I am deliberately using the word kama here instead of desire, because iccha is also desire, ishta is also desire, kama is also desire. These subtle differences are there, and that makes a world of a difference. Now, if your kama is not fulfilled, you will be further unhappy. If it is fulfilled also, it will lead to lobha. Lobha means greed. You can never be happy unless and until your mind is under your control. You cannot experience happiness. The so-called happiness which comes from external sources, they are nothing but states of getting excited. Someone asked me, sir, when a person drinks alcohol, why does he feel very calm and happy? That is not a state of calmness, that is a state of numbness. Alcohol, what does it do? It reduces your consciousness. So whatever stress you have temporarily goes away. Goes away means you get disconnected from it because your brain gets numbed, your senses get numbed. So that temporary disconnection is what gives you an illusion of peace. I am not getting into the physical aspect or the medical aspect of it, how exactly this happens and all that. We are looking at it from a psychological aspect and spiritual aspect. So the problem with kama is that you're first unhappy and then therefore you pitch up a desire which is not under your control in order to become happy. That process itself, that motive itself is meaningless because happiness is there within, not there outside. So in this entire process, right from the start to the end, you will be very highly stressed. You will be you will feel the pressure. See, when you fix a goal and you start feeling stressed about it, that pressure, it means it has come from kama. Now you will have to release that extra pressure through sadhana, and through a proper understanding you have to do sadhana and get yourself more established in that inner state of happiness. Then only this kama will be converted into iccha, which is desire out of will, willful desire, we can say. This is the method by which you can convert the negative forces within you into into positive forces. So when it comes to karma, the starting itself, you're unhappy, and then throughout the process you will be stressed. You will feel that pressure. Who has created the pressure? You only have created. And that pressure can cause a lot of health issues, irritability issues, mood swings, so many things can happen. And then when you achieve it, at least at that time are you happy? It's a very, very temporary state of happiness which you experience. That is not true happiness. Why is it temporary? Because one karma, when fulfilled, gives rise to 100 more. This is the symbolic meaning of the Rakshasa whose name was Rakta Bija. And when goddess Kali, when she killed him, she was very careful in killing him. Why? Because Rakta Bija had a boon. Supposing you injure him, one drop of blood falls down, now another Rakta Bija will come. So supposing you hit him, or let's say you take a weapon and attack him, now a little bit of blood spills, hundreds of Rakta Bijas will be created. This was the boon which he had. So nobody could defeat him. And how did the goddess defeat him? By holding a vessel as she was fighting with him, so that the blood doesn't spill anywhere. Very, they put it in a very interesting way. So, what does Rakta Bija represent? It is the karma within you. Every desire which is fulfilled will give rise to 100 more karmas. So you have to be very careful. So when we understand this Ishta Kama Dukh at 3 levels, last week I had given you 3 levels of depth. That was only to make it easy for you to grasp this very subtle principle which these great masters have given. Even after all this, you will find that every now and then it will be very slippery, this principle. And then when you try to practice it, you will get very confused. Supposing you get a desire. Now is this karma or iccha? That confusion will be there. You have to do a lot of sadhana. You have to expose yourself to this wisdom for quite a period of time. Only then you will begin to get that clarity in a practical way. See, again, to get clarity with respect to these concepts, that is easy. That itself is difficult. You have to use the yogic approach. But relatively that is easier than to get clarity when you are practically functioning in life. Supposing you are fixing a goal and you ask yourself, is this karma or iccha? Now you will get very confused. That's why I gave you some yardsticks in the last session. Find out whether you're unhappy today, and that is why you're fixing this goal. Similarly, today I was telling you that pressure will be felt. So when you feel a lot of pressure because of your own desires, it means that is karma. You will have to do more sadhana. You will have to exhaust or release that extra pressure, and then through sadhana you will have to get more and more established in the infinite happiness which is there within you. It happens in stages only, not at one go. So Kamadhenu is not some magical formula where you don't do anything, just simply worship the photograph of Kamadhenu. Immediately all your desires will get fulfilled. There are some people who have such very funny, limited concepts. So it's a lot of hard work to awaken the Kamadhenu within you is this process, Ishta Kamaduk. So I told you the three levels. No? First level you can take Kama to be the object of desire, Ishta to be desire. That's a very simple explanation. Then next level is the, when you take Kama to be desire, Ishta Kama means the good desires, the noble desires. That is one step further. But then the third level actually contains the real subtleties of what they are trying to give. Whenever your desire is out of your control, whenever it's stemming from unhappiness, and you're generating the desire in order to become happy, now that is kama. So he says ishta kama means you have to convert it in, you have to convert kama into ishta kama. Ishta means wishing consciously. So ishta kama is what our rishis called as iccha shakti. In the Mahaganapati Dhyana Yoga Sankirtan, if you read the various portions, of that, you'll find iccha shakti is being awakened in one of the portions. What is interesting is that ragam which came, the musically I'm talking of, which I generally, whatever comes in the meditation, the vibrations, I just decode them and a musical pattern forms, and that is what forms the Yoga Sankirtan. But very interestingly, the musical part coincides, like the raga which unfolded when the energy of Mahaganapati was decoded is actually called Kamavardhini. Another name for that ragam. Now, somebody has named it Kamavardhini, but actually that name shouldn't be Kamavardhini. It should be Ichavardhini. The person who named it may have known it and called it in a way everybody could understand. But there is a chance of misunderstanding that. If the energy is invoked in a slightly wrong way, it will lead to an uncontrolled desires. Whereas if it is invoked in the right way, it leads to the awakening of iccha shakti. So nothing should be beyond your control. And when I say nothing, I mean internally. You should train yourself in such a way that every thought, every desire which you generate is done consciously. This is a very advanced level which is being given to you. You cannot master this overnight. Now, kindly don't send mails to me saying that, so many thoughts are coming, nothing is under my control. If everything is already under your control, you don't require these sessions, no? So, when these principles are being given, they are not given with the expectation that you should instantly practice it 100%. Nobody can do that. These powerful principles are given to you. The more you understand them and the more you go deeper, slowly, your own thoughts, your own desires will start coming under your control. Today, 99.9% of your thoughts and desires are not under your control. When you do sadhana, you begin to become aware of that. And then when you keep on progressing in your sadhana, slowly, you will find your own emotions, your own desires. Emotions are for the development of desires only. So your own thoughts, everything start coming under your control. You start fixing clear-cut goals. You start channelizing your desires, your energies towards the chosen goal. In that process only, you will be able to find out whether what you're having is kama or iccha, all these things. That clarity will automatically come. See, the base wisdom is being provided to you. But for you to practicalize this, that is a process. Only if you are a sincere sadhak, you will be able to practicalize this over a period of time. And then a very advanced stage in spirituality where a yogi reaches a state where his mind does not generate any thought or desire on its own. If and when you reach that state, it's a very powerful state where the mind is naturally only meditative. Whenever there is a situation, whenever there is a necessity, then the yogi consciously directs or instructs his mind to generate a thought, to generate a desire. That is called iccha. But it is done in a sadhana way, in a meditative way. That is what we saw in the previous chapter also, where Krishna said, Yogastha kuru karmani. Be in that state of yoga and do all your actions. So that's how a yogi functions. He is always in that state of yoga. He is always in that state of meditativeness. But he keeps acting in the world. Whatever participation his mind does is well under this purview. A non-yogi, his mind is running helter-skelter and he is not even aware of it. 99.9% nobody is aware of what's happening to his or her mind. And unless and until you gain mastery over your mind, this principle of yagna cannot be awakened. The kamadhenu within you cannot be awakened. So that is why I kept saying even in the last session that the power of creation, the kamadhenu within you, has to be awakened step by step. When I say has to be, there is no other choice. You cannot awaken it at one go. See, that's what Krishna did to Arjuna, just to shake him up. Suddenly he showed him the Vishwarupa Darshan, the real spiritual magnificence of his self. And when Arjuna saw that, actually he got frightened. He himself asked for the universal form, but he was not able to take it. And he said, please, please come back to your gentler form. And Krishna obliged. So unless a person is prepared, these powers cannot be awakened at one go. It should not be. So in a relaxed way, gain this wisdom and start practicing. See, I have given you a lot of tips with respect to ishta kama dukh. Kama means uncontrolled desire. Ishta kama means iccha, which is a desire which is very powerful, which has come out of will. Iccha will not disturb the state of divinity. It does not disturb the meditativeness within you, whereas kama disturbs the meditativeness. A person who is riddled with kama cannot meditate, cannot be peaceful, whereas a person with iccha continues to be in the meditative state, continues to be very calm and composed. I'm giving you several angles to this so that you begin to grasp what they are saying. So when the rishis said, don't encourage desires, if you remove all your desires, you become divine, they meant kama. But the higher way of living is ishta kama, which is iccha. That also they have mentioned. But since, as I told you, nobody has the patience to go into this in a deep way, they miss that. So if you forcefully control your desires, that is, if you control your desires in a forceful way, that will lead to suppression. So your karma is there. Nobody will be free of karma, free of desires. Now, no need to feel guilty about it. Some people, they listen to all this. They say, oh, I have a lot of karma, and they start feeling guilty. That's another negative energy. Okay, you have this. Now, if you just completely control them by force, then you will become very suppressed. See, the karma is also a kind of energy. It is very wild today. Now, if you just bottle it up, now that will start coming out in various other ways like anger, frustration. You will become very short-tempered. A person who loses temper very easily, it means some desire which he has not been fulfilled, some expectation. It may not be a direct desire related to that incident. It may be some other desire also. So one has to do that introspection and find out. This is all the homework which I am giving you. The foundation is being laid for you, and then I'm asking you to construct your building on it. Live your life. You create your life. Without a foundation, you cannot. So, instead of asking you to stop that energy within you, which is karma, what he is saying is convert that karma into ishta karma, which is iccha. This is the practical way by which you can do the sadhana. So if you encourage the karma, if you indulge in it, that will also lead to issues. If you suppress it, that will also lead to issues. Therefore, he is asking you to convert it into ishta kama, wishful desire. These are just translations which are being given. Now you will be able to understand that. So let this be the ishta kama dukh. Let this be the fulfiller of your desires, the wish fulfilling cow of your desires. Now, with this background, let's now look at this word prasavishyadvam. Prasavishyadvam means propagation. So he says, by activating the kamadhenu within you, by practicing the principle of yagna, now may you propagate. Prasavishyadvam. Prasava actually means giving birth. So the literal meaning is, may you procreate, may you give birth to more children. That is a very literal meaning. But that is not what is meant here. It means much more. We will see what this prasavaha means. It will give a very deep insight into the principle of yagna. See, what is very interesting is, even in these two phrases, when he says ishta kama duk and prasavishyadvam, there are some people who interpret this in a very superficial way. See, kama is actually referring to any desire which is not under your control. Another meaning of kama is the sensual desire. Now, some people say ishta kama duk means the fulfiller of that sensual desire. Therefore, prasavishyadvam, prasava means birth. So, use that to give birth to children. They interpret the whole thing in a very limited, narrow way. Just imagine, is Krishna giving that message to Arjuna? Would he have given that message to Arjuna in the battlefield when he is facing so many issues, so many emotional issues? There should be some connection between what he is saying and the problem which Arjuna is facing, no? It should be a solution to Arjuna's problem, isn't it? This is what I was trying to tell you. The mind has this weakness of not wanting to go deep. I just here and there pick up a few things, and then they have a lot of debates over all this, whether Bhagavad Gita is right or wrong. See, unless you get into the depth of this, you can never discover the higher truths of life which these great, great masters have given us. There should be that humility. See, prasava, again, he has deliberately used the word prasava. Prasavishyadvam means may you, or let this happen. It's a kind of a blessing which the Creator is giving. Now, why has he used the word prasava? Prasava, no doubt, means birth. That's a literal external meaning. But in the yogic language, the word prasava has a very deep significance. The spiritual birth, the spiritual awakening which you get transforms you completely, and you, as it were, get a new birth. That is what our yogis called as prasava. There is a separate sadhana for that, a principle called prati prasava. Prati prasava sadhana. Prati prasava sadhana means the sadhana of being born again. What it means externally, that also we'll see. But first you need to understand the inner meaning of this. So use the principle of yagna to be born again, means to be to get completely transformed. What is the principle of prati, prasava? You are loaded with a lot of impressions in the deeper layers of your mind. Every time you react negatively to a situation, it forms a scar, impression. You tend to forget it in time, but it's all there deep within you. We're talking of lakhs and lakhs, millions and billions of impressions gathered from many, many births. Now, when they are all there in the deeper layers of your mind, they cause tremendous stress within you. They actually control your conscious mind, your thoughts and emotions. Why is it that you react in a situation in a particular way? Because of your impressions only. Impression means a scar or a mark which an experience leaves within you. Supposing a person comes and abuses you. Now you react, you get angry, and then the person goes away. Now what happens to that energy of anger? One way is you do sadhana and release it immediately. That's what last session also, in the last session I was mentioning. Now supposing you don't do that, it starts getting into the deeper layers of your mind. And when it goes to the deepest layer of the mind, it becomes what we call as a psychic impression. There are many names for that. It can be called as a karma. Karma also means impressions only. I told you the word karma means so many things. When you're loaded with impressions, you're no longer a free person. All your thoughts and emotions will be colored by those impressions, will be influenced by those impressions. Your behavior will also be influenced by those impressions. Next time you see the same person, how will you react mentally? You will react in a negative way. So that reaction is being controlled by the scar which the previous experience had left on you. Supposing a dog bites a person. Now that impression goes deep, deep within. Thereafter, whenever he sees a dog, the fear will arise. That fear, the reaction, is being controlled by the impression. So what our great masters said is that if you want to transform yourself, it's not enough if you merely try to change your behavior or your reactions. That will work up to a point. But you will have to do the sadhana and release all the impressions or karmas within you. That is only true karma yoga. Karma yoga in its real depth is releasing all your karmas. Now when you release all your karmas, you are born as it were. You are reborn. That was called prati, prasava. So the principle of prati, prasava is there in every sadhana, because all the sadhanas which are given are meant to release the impressions only. The Yoga Sankirtan is a very powerful sadhana which is directly meant to create this prati, prasava effect within you, to release all your impressions. Merely gaining knowledge will not release your impressions. In the future, we will see the prati, prasav sadhana can be taught as a separate course. It can be done in a more intense way. That we'll see in the future. One has to be ready for that, because if you do it in a very intense way, a lot of impressions will start coming out, and you will not be able to take it. Imagine the baggage which you have accumulated from millions and millions of births. Suddenly, if everything comes out, now that will cause a lot of disturbance. That's why I'm making you do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana, and step by step I'm increasing the level, the energy. In every empowerment course, a little more, little more. It's being increased gradually. This coming Guru Purnima, that is next week, again the energy will be increased a little more. And you will experience that. A lot of cleaning up will happen. This is what we call as a process of healing. So, he is deliberately using the word prasava. This is a yogi's language. Buddha called it as jatak smaran. Lord Mahavira called it as jati smaran. It's the same principle of prati, prasava. Again, by merely knowing the theory part, nothing is going to happen. It is only the deep meditation under the guidance of a guru, which is very safe, and that can help you to completely transform yourself. That is, you will be reborn. So, prasavishyadhvam means being reborn internally, spiritually. So if you take the literal meaning of prasava, that is giving birth to children, procreating, that also fits in. It's not that it does not fit in. That's why I said even the so-called sensual desire, when you do it in the spirit of yagna, it becomes spiritual. In the Chandogya Upanishad, they take this example only. When a man and a woman, when they unite physically, they have considered that action and said that is a yagna, a divine activity which is going on. But the principle of yagna is not restricted to that. So some people in a superficial way, they just see the immediate meaning and then they stop with that. So externally, it means producing. See, it's not, children means who, what, see, these are all given in a very poetic way. Children, no doubt, directly are children, but apart from that, whatever you create is your child. See, this is a common language which is used, no? When someone invents something, he says, "This is my baby." It's a very common language which we use, a common phrase. So similarly, whatever you create in your life, that becomes your child, as it were, poetically. So prasava externally means that which you create in the world. You fix goals, what you want to achieve. But from a yogic standpoint, it has a deeper significance. It means being reborn, releasing all the impressions which you have stored deep, deep within you through sadhana, by practicing the principle of yagna and becoming clean. Why is it that a newborn baby is so fresh, is so pure? Does it mean it does not have any karmas? Karmas are there, but they have not yet manifested because the body is still growing. So that is why it's a kind of a temporary disconnection from the karmas. Disconnection means the karmas are covered in the dormant stage. For that itself, you can see how bright, how innocent, how pure a child is, a baby is. So when you actually remove all those impressions through sadhana, you will also become like a child, so pure, so innocent. When you look into the eyes of a master, there is nothing but innocence, purity, unconditional love. If you fear a master, it is your projection, the projection of your mind. See, different people go to a master. Each one interprets in his or her own way. Shakuni saw Krishna as a cunning person. Why? Because Shakuni was cunning. Duryodhana saw Krishna as a negative person. Why? Because Duryodhana was negative. Yudhishthira saw Krishna as a dharmic person, righteous person. Why? Because Yudhishthira was righteous. Bhima saw Krishna as a very powerful person. Why? Because he was powerful. Arjuna saw Krishna as a skillful person. Why? Because he was skillful. We can go on. Sahadeva saw Krishna as a person who had tremendous clarity and worldly wisdom. Why? Because Sahadeva had that. Each one related to Krishna according to their minds. Mother Yashoda saw Krishna as a little child, naughty child. Because that was her desire. She wanted to experience that, But who knew the real greatness of Krishna? It is only the sages. It is only the masters who were in deep meditation. They were able to identify who Krishna was in the real sense of the term. And even they say, we don't know anything. That is their humility. So when you look into the eyes of a master, there is nothing but purity. From where has that purity come? From where is that unconditional love coming? Because all the impressions have been removed, all the karmas have been removed. So the divine light just shines forth through the eyes of the master, through the presence of the master. And that causes a lot of healing. Why? Because the divine energy keeps radiating. So, the actual significance of Guru Poornima, which we are going to have next week, is nothing but feeling the divine presence, the divine Shakti, the divine healing energy of the Guru Shakti. It is not merely externally bowing down to a master. That may also be there. But it should not be restricted to that. It is fathoming, exploring and fathoming the depth of the Guru Shakti. And when you do that, you become very grateful. So Guru Poornima is nothing but receiving that Guru Shakti and feeling so grateful about it. So the word prasava has a very deep significance with respect to the yogic sadhana. In the next session, after the Guru Purnima session, we will see some more dimensions of what this prasavishyadvam means with respect to your sadhana. I'll just cover a few dimensions and that should be more than enough. and then we can continue further. What is interesting is the same principle of yagna. If you go to the next verse, he will explain it in a slightly different way, further application. How do you use the yagna to progress in a step-by-step way in your life? That will be given. And then in the subsequent verse, he will, subsequent couple of verses, he will be giving you the principle of yagna from three different viewpoints, the sattva, rajas and tamas. How does a sattvic person approach? How does a rajasic person approach? How does a tamasic person approach? It's very interesting. For example, yagna is nothing but give and take. There are two components. You're giving, offering, and you receive the blessings, taking. I'm putting it in a very simple language, give and take. A sattvic person gives, and whatever is the outcome, gracefully receives that. Not with an expectation. This is the iccha, What does a rajasic person do? He's calculating, give and take, like he does it like business. Such a person, what will be the effect? Beautifully, Krishna explains that. A tamasic person, what does he do? He only takes. He doesn't give, he doesn't contribute. Actually, he'll be using a very strong word. He says, one who eats without producing, such a person is a stena, thief, he says. Very, very strong word. Not to belittle, but to awaken humanity out of tamas. So a tamasic person will always want everything for free. See, if you really want to be a yogi, never desire things for free without any effort. Always be grateful and think in terms of repayment, giving back. That is a sattvic quality. When we come there, we'll be seeing that. Gratitude and repayment. Always, in every aspect of life. Incidentally, the Guru Purnima is also that. See, we have received so much from all the Gurus. You may not have met all the Gurus, but the fact that you are gaining this wisdom right now is because so many masters have contributed. So we have received so much. So we offer our gratitude. We show our repayment by bowing down, by taking a firm resolve to do further sadhana. That is yagna. And then after that, in the next verse, he'll be talking about yagna with respect to the society. How, if everyone starts functioning in this spirit, society will start prospering. Society means your immediate society, your country, the entire world will start prospering. So, he is going to cover yagna from so many angles, the various applications. That is when you will get a complete picture. See, one sadhak has sent an email saying that, so the more deep we go into this yagna principle, I am finding it so amazing. It is extremely deep and vast. This is the word he has used. This principle is so vast. Will I ever be able to master this? It's not like that. See, everything in the universe is so vast only. But whatever you're able to grasp, you start practicing that. And verse after verse, we'll be seeing so many aspects of yagna. Just start practicing whatever inspires you. Today, that vastness is creating a kind of fear in you, a kind of depression in you, feeling that when am I going to master all this? But if you get into that depth, the same vastness will start inspiring you after a while. There is so much to know, so much to practice. A yogi wakes up in the morning with full vigor because one more day to do sadhana, to learn this science, because it is an infinite science. There is an answer to that question which has been asked by the sadhak. There is also a message to all the other sadhaks, because next week we are going to have the intense meditative sadhana, yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. So don't come with these kinds of emotions that, when am I going to master this? Kindly release all that through your daily sadhana. Come with a fresh mind to receive the higher grace fully. Okay, so we'll stop with this today. We will do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. Go on breathing deeply. with every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this intellect. I am that infinite, supreme reality. I am the creator of my life. I bow down to that infinite Guru Shakti. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today we had a powerful session wherein more subtle principles have been given to you. You're so fortunate that you're being exposed to this yogic approach. Feel very grateful for that. Thank God. Thank the Guru Shakti for that. Next week, same time, we are going to have the Guru Purnima, intense yogic sadhana. Intense in terms of energy. We are going to invoke the Guru Shakti. So this week, be very sincere with your sadhana. Every day, do your sadhana meticulously. In today's Nididhyasana, I have prepared you a little more. Not only that, a lot of healing is being given to you all in the background. So if you do your daily sadhana, the benefits or the effects which you will get will be much more than usual. And come with a free mind. Come with a mind to receive whatever is being given. With all the gratitude. with a positive mindset, you should attend that. Guru Purnima sadhana is not about telling all your problems and asking for solutions. That is an all a byproduct of the higher sadhana. You don't need to even tell. What is important is the gratitude and receptivity. So this week, especially this week, starting from tomorrow till next Saturday, be very consistent in your daily sadhana. Okay? So I'll see you in the next session, which is going to be a powerful blast, the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima, and then subsequent to that, we can continue with this. Thank you very much. Hari Om.